Hello and welcome back to the reading of the Holy Bible. Today will be it'll be chapters 13, 14, 15, and 16 for Numbers. Chapter 13. 12 spies sent into Canaan. And the people marched from Hazeroth and pitched their tents in the desert of Paran. And there the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Send men to view the land of Canaan, which I will give to the children of Israel, one of every tribe of the rulers. Moses did what the Lord had commanded, sending from the desert of Paran principal men, whose names are these: of the tribe of Reuben, Samua, the son of Zechor; of the tribe of Simeon, Saphat, the son of Huri; of the tribe of Judah, Caleb, the son of Jephon; of the tribe of Issachar, Igal, the son of Joseph; of the tribe of Issachar, Igal, the son of Joseph; of the tribe of Ephraim, Osi, the son of Nun; of the tribe of Benjamin, Phalti, the son of Raphu; of the tribe of Zabulon, Gediel, the son of Sodi; of the tribe of Joseph, of the scepter of Manasseh, Gadi, the son of Suzi; of the tribe of Dan, Amiel, the son of Gamali; of the tribe of Aser, Stur, the son of Michael; of the tribe of Naphtali, Nahabi, the son of Vapsi; of the tribe of Gad, Gul, the son of Maki. These are the names of the men whom Moses sent to view the land. And he called Osi, the son of Nun, Josu. Moses instructs the spies. And Moses sent them to view the land of Canaan, and said to them, Go you up by the south side, and when you shall come to the mountains to view the land of what sort it is, and the people that are in the inhabitants thereof, whether they may be strong or weak, few in number or many, the land itself, whether it be good or bad, what manner of cities, walls or without walls, the ground fat or barren, woody or without trees, be of good courage, and bring us of the fruits of the land. Now is the time when the first ripe grapes are fit to be eaten. The acts of the spies. And when they were gone up, they viewed the land from the desert of Sin unto Rohab, as you enter into Emath. And they went up at the south side, and came to Hebron, which were Achaman, and Sazai, and Thalmai, the sons of Enoch. For Hebron was built 7 years before Tanis, the city of Egypt. And going forward as far as the torrent of the cluster of grapes, they cut off a branch with its cluster of grapes, which 2 men carried upon a lever. They took also of the pomegranates and of the figs of that place, which was called Nehel Sukul, that is to say, the torrent of the cluster of grapes, because from thence the children of Israel had carried a cluster of grapes. And after that they went to spy out the land, returned after 40 days, having gone around all the country, and came to Moses and Aaron, to all the assembly of the children of Israel, to the desert of Paran, which is in Kadesh. And speaking to them and to all the multitude, they showed them the fruits of the land. Report of the spies. And they related and said, We came into the land to which thou sentest us, which in very deed floweth thou with milk and honey. It may be known by these fruits, but it hath very strong inhabitants, and the cities are great and walled. We saw there the race of Enoch. Amalek dwelleth in the south, the Hethite and the Jebusite and the Amorite in the mountains. But the Canaanite abideth by the sea, and near the streams of the Jordan. In the meantime, Caleb, to still the murmuring of the people that rose against Moses, said, Let us go up and possess the land, for we shall be able to conquer it. But the others that had been with him said, No, we are not able to go up to this people, because they are stronger than we. And they spoke ill of the land which they had viewed before the children of Israel, saying, The inhabitants Israel, saying, The land which we have viewed devoureth its inhabitants. The people that we beheld are of a tall stature. There we saw certain monsters in the sons Enoch, of the giant kind, in comparison of whom we seem like locusts. Let me see. Chapter 13, verse 33. Spoke ill. These men, who by their misrepresentations of the land of promise discouraged the Israelites from attempting the conquest of it, were a figure of worldlings who, by decrying or misrepresenting true devotion, discouraged Christians from seeking seeking in earnest and acquiring so great a good and securing a happy eternity. Chapter 14. The people complain. Therefore the whole multitude crying wept that night, and all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron, saying, Would God that we had died in Egypt, and would God we may die in this vast wilderness, and that the Lord may not bring us into this land, lest we fall by the sword and our wives and children be led away captives. Is it not better to return into Egypt? And they said one to another, Let us appoint a captain, and let us return into Egypt. Joshua and Caleb encouraged the people, and when Moses and Aaron heard this, they fell down flat upon the ground before the multitude of the children of Israel. But Joshua, the son of Nun, and Caleb, the son of Jephone, who themselves also had viewed the land, rent their garments, and said to all the multitude of the children of Israel, The land which we have gone round is very good. If the Lord be favorable, he will bring us into it, and give us a land flowing with milk and honey. Be not rebellious against the Lord, and fear ye not the people of this land, for we are able to eat them up as bread. All aid is gone from them. The Lord is with us. Fear ye not. The Lord threatens the people. When all the multitude cried out and would have stoned them, the glory of the Lord appeared over the tabernacle of the covenant to all the children of Israel. The Lord said to Moses, How long will this people detract me? How long will they not believe me for all the signs that I have brought upon them? I will strike them therefore with pestilence and will consume them. But thee I will make a ruler over a great nation, and a mightier than this is. Moses prays for the people. And Moses said to the Lord, That the Egyptians, from the midst of whom thou hast brought forth this people, and the inhabitants of this land, who have heard that art thou, O Lord, art among this people, and art seen face to face, and thou cloud protecteth them, and thou goest before them in a pillar of a cloud by day, and in a pillar of fire by night, may hear that thou hast killed so great a multitude as it were one man, and may say, He could not bring the people into the land for which he had sworn. Therefore did he kill them in the wilderness. Let then the strength of the Lord be magnified as thou hast sworn, saying, The Lord is patient and full of mercy, taking away iniquity and wickedness, and leaving no man clear, who visiteth the sins of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. Forgive, I beseech thee, the sins of this people, according to the greatness of thy mercy, as thou hast been merciful to them, from their going out of Egypt unto this place. Chapter 14, verse 18. Clear, an example, who deserves punishment. The Lord forgives the people, and the Lord said, I have forgiven according to thy word. As I live, and the whole earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord. But yet all the men that have seen my majesty and the signs that I have done in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now 10 times, and have not obeyed my voice, shall not see the land for which I swore to their fathers. Neither shall any one of them that hath distracted me behold it. My servant Caleb, who being full of another spirit hath followed me, I will bring into this land which he hath gone round, and his seed shall possess it. For the Amalekite and the Canaanite dwell in the valleys. Tomorrow remove the camp and return to the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. The Lord decrees 40 years of wandering. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, How long doth this wicked multitude murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Say therefore to them, As I live, saith the Lord, According as you have spoken in my hearing, so will I do to you. In the wilderness shall your carcasses lie. All you that were numbered from 20 years old and upward, and have murmured against me, shall not enter into the land over which I lifted up my hand to make you dwell therein, except Caleb, the son of Jephone, and Joshua, the son of Nun. But your children, of whom you said that they should be a prey to the enemies, will I bring in, that they may see the land which you have despised. Your carcasses shall lie in the wilderness, your children shall wander in the desert 40 years, and shall bear your fornication, until the carcasses of their fathers be consumed in the desert. According to the number of the 40 days wherein you view the land, a year shall be counted for a day. In 40 years you shall receive your iniquities, and shall know my revenge. For as I have spoken, so will I do all this wicked multitude that hath risen up together against me. In this wilderness shall it faint away and die. Let me see. Shall bear your fornication, shall bear the punishment of your disloyalty to God, which in the scripture language is here called fornication in a spiritual sense. Death of 10 of the spies. Therefore all the men whom Moses had sent to view the land, and who at their return made the whole multitude murmur against him, speaking ill of the land that it was not, died, and were struck in the sight of the Lord. But Joshua, the son of Nun, and Caleb, the son of Jephone, lived of all them that had gone to view the land. Defeat by Amalekites and Canaanites. And Moses spoke all these words to all the children of Israel, and the people mourned exceedingly. And behold, rising up very early in the morning, they went up to the top of the mountain, and said, We are ready to go up to the place of which the Lord hath spoken, for we have sinned. And Moses said to them, Why transgress you the word of the Lord, which shall not succeed prosperously with you? Go not up, for the Lord is not with you, lest you fall before your enemies. The Amalekite and the Canaanite are before you, and by their sword you shall fall, because you would not consent to the Lord. Neither will the Lord be with you. But they, being blinded, went up to the top of the mountain. But the ark of the testament of the Lord and Moses departed not from the camp. And the Amalekite came down, and the Canaanite that dwelt in the mountain, and smiting and slaying them, pursued them as far as Hormah. Chapter 15. Laws concerning sacrifices. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and thou shalt say to them, When you shall be come into the land of your habitation, which I will give you, and shall make an offering to the Lord for a holocaust or a victim, paying your vows, or voluntarily offering gifts, or in your solemnities, bringing a sweet Savior unto the Lord of oxen or of sheep, whosoever immoleth the victim shall offer a sacrifice of fine flour, the 10th part of an ephah, tempered with the 4th part of a hin of oil, and he shall give the same measure of wine to pour out in libations for the holocaust or for the victims. For every lamb and for every ram there shall be a sacrifice, of flour of 2/10, which shall be tempered with the 3rd part of a hin of oil, and he shall offer the 3rd part of the same measure of wine for the libation, for a sweet savor to the Lord. But when thou offerest a holocaust or sacrifice of oxen to fulfill thy vow, or for victims of peace offerings, thou shalt give for every ox 3/10 of flour, tempered with half a hin of oil, and wine for libations of the same measure, for an offering of most sweet savor to the Lord. Thus shalt thou do for every ox and ram and lamb and kid. Both they that are born in the land and the stranger shall offer sacrifices after the same rite. There shall be all one law and judgment, both for you and for them who are strangers in the land. Offerings of firstfruits. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and thou shalt say to them, When you are come into the land which I will give you, and shall eat of the bread of that country, you shall separate firstfruits to the Lord of the things you eat, and you separate firstfruits of your barn floor, so also shall you give firstfruits of your dough to the Lord. Offering for sins through ignorance. And if through ignorance you omit any of these things which the Lord hath spoken to Moses, and by him hath commanded you, from the day that he began to command and thenceforward, and thy multitude have forgotten to do it, they shall offer a calf out of the herd, a holocaust for a most sweet savor to the Lord, and the sacrifice and libations thereof, as the ceremonies require, and a buck goat for sin. And the priest shall pray for the multitude of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, because they sinned ignorantly, offering not withstanding a burnt offering to the Lord for themselves and for the sin and their ignorance. And it shall be forgiven all the people of the children of Israel, and the strangers that sojourn among them, because it is the fault of all the people through ignorance. But if one soul shall sin ignorantly, he shall offer a she-goat of a year old for his sin. And the priest shall pray for him, because he sinned ignorantly before the Lord, and he shall obtain his pardon, and it shall be forgiven him. The same law shall be for all that sin by ignorance, whether they be natives or strangers, punishment for pride. But the soul that committeth anything through pride, whether he be born in the land or a stranger, because he hath been rebellious against the Lord, shall be cut off from among his people. For he hath contemned the word of the Lord, and made void his precept. Therefore shall he be destroyed, and shall bear his iniquity, punishment for violating the Sabbath. And it came to pass, when the children of Israel were in the wilderness, and had found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day, that they brought him to Moses and Aaron and the whole multitude, and they put him into prison, not knowing what they should do with him. And the Lord said to Moses, Let that man die. Let all the multitude stone him without the camp. And when they had brought him out, they stoned him, and he died, as the Lord had commanded. Fringes on garments. The Lord also said to Moses, Speak to the children of Israel, and thou shalt tell them to make to themselves fringes in the corners of their garments, putting in them ribbons of blue, that when they shall see them, they may remember all the commandments of the Lord, and not follow their own thoughts and eyes going astray after divers things, but rather being mindful of the precepts of the Lord, may do them, and be holy to their God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that I might be your God. Chapter 16. Chapter 16 in a moment. Chapter 15, verse 38, fringes. The Pharisees enlarged these fringes through hypocrisy, to appear more zealous than other men for the law of God. Chapter 16, rebellion of Kor, Dathan, and Abiram. And behold, Kor the son of Isser, the son of Kath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and Han, the son of Pheleth, of the children of Reuben, rose up against Moses, and with them 250 others of the children of Israel, leading men of the synagogue, and who, in the time of assembly, were called by name. And when they had stood up against Moses and Aaron, they said, Let it be enough for you, that all the multitude consisteth of holy ones, and the Lord is among them. Why lift you up yourselves above the people of the Lord? When Moses heard this, he fell flat on his face, and speaking to Korah and all the multitude, he said, In the morning the Lord will make known who belong to him, and the holy he will join to himself, and whom he shall choose, they shall approach to him. Chapter 16, verse 2. Rose up. The crime of these men, which was punished in so remarkable a manner, was that of schism and of rebellion against the authority established by God in the church, and their pretending to be to the priesthood without being lawfully called and sent. Do this, therefore, take every man of you your censers, though Kor, and all thy company, and putting fire on them tomorrow, put incense upon it before the Lord, and whomsoever he shall choose, the same shall be holy. You take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. And he said again to Kor, Hear ye, sons of Levi. Is it a small thing unto you that the God of Israel hath spared you from all the people, and joined you to himself, that you should serve him in the service of the tabernacle, and should stand before the congregation of the people, and should minister to him? Did he therefore make thee and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, to reproach unto you, that you should challenge to yourselves the priesthood also, and that all this thy company should stand against the Lord? For what is Aaron that you murmur against him? Then Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, but they answered, We will not come. Is it a small matter to thee that thou hast brought us out of a land that flowed with milk and honey, to kill us in the desert, except thou rule also like a lord over us? Thou hast brought us indeed into a land that floweth with rivers of milk and honey, and hast given us possessions of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou also pull out our eyes? We will not come. The Lord threatens punishment. Moses, therefore, being very angry, said to the Lord, Respect not their sacrifices. Thou knowest that I have not taken any of them, so much as a young ass at any time, nor have injured any of them. Verse 15, very angry. Their anger was a zeal against sin, and an indignation at the affront offered to God, like that which the same holy prophet conceived upon the sight of the golden calf. And he said to Korah, Do thou and thy congregation stand apart before the Lord tomorrow, and Aaron apart. Take every one of your censers and put incense upon them, offering to the Lord 250 censers. Let Aaron also hold his censer. When they had done this, Moses and Aaron standing, and had drawn up all the multitude against them to the door of the tabernacle, the glory of the Lord appeared to them all. And the Lord, speaking to Moses and Aaron, said, Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may presently destroy them. They fell flat on their face and said, O most mighty, the God of the spirits of all flesh, for one man's sin, shall thy wrath rage against all? The people forsake Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. The Lord said to Moses, Command the whole people to separate themselves from the tents of Korah and Dathan and Abiram. And Moses arose and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the ancients of Israel following him. He said to the multitude, Depart from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest you be involved in their sins. When they were departed from their tents round about, Dathan and Abiram, coming out, stood in the entry of their pavilions with their wives and children, and all the people. And Moses said, By this you shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all things that you see, and that I have not forced them of my own head. If these men die the common death of men, and if they be visited with a plague, wherewith others also are wont to be visited, the Lord did not send me. But if the Lord do a new thing, and the earth opening her mouth swallow them down, and all things that belong to them, and they go down alive into hell, you shall know that they have blasphemed the Lord. Punishment of the rebels. And immediately as he had made An end of speaking. The earth broke asunder under their feet, and opening her mouth devoured them with their tents and all their substance. And they went down alive into hell, the ground closing upon them, and they perished from among the people. But all Israel that was standing round about fled at the cry of them that were perishing, saying, Lest perhaps the earth swallow us up also. And a fire coming out from the Lord destroyed the 250 men that offered the incense. The rebels' censers become a memorial. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, to take up the censers that lie on the burning, and to scatter the fire on one side and the other, because they are sanctified in the deaths of the sinners, and let him beat them into plates, and fasten them to the altar, because incense hath been offered and them to the Lord, and they are sanctified, that the children of Israel may see them for their sign and a memorial. Then Eleazar the priest took the brazen censers wherein they had offered, whom the burning fire had devoured, and beat them into plates, fastening them to the altar, that the children of Israel might have for the time to come wherewith they should be admonished, that no stranger or any one that is not of the seed of Aaron shall come near to offer incense to the Lord, lest he should suffer as Korah suffered, and all his congregation, according as the Lord spoke to Moses. The people criticized Moses and Aaron. The following day, all the multitude of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron, saying, You have killed the people of the Lord. And when there arose a sedition, and the tumult increased, Moses and Aaron fled to the tabernacle of the covenant. And when they were gone into it, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. Aaron's days of plague. And the Lord said to Moses, Get you out from the midst of this multitude, this moment will I destroy them. And as they were lying on the ground, Moses said to Aaron, Take the censer, and putting fire in it from the altar, put incense upon it, and go quickly to the people to pray for them. For already wrath is gone out from the Lord, and the plague rageth. When Aaron had done this, and had run to the midst of the multitude, which the burning fire was now destroying, he offered the incense. And standing between the dead and the living, he prayed for the people, and the plague ceased. And the number of them that were slain was 14,700 men, besides them that had perished in the sedition of the Korah. And Aaron returned to Moses to the door of the tabernacles of the covenant, after the destruction was over. That was chapters 13, 14, 15, and 16. Join us next time for chapters 17, 18, 19, and 20 of Numbers. We could possibly discuss it, because I know that Numbers can be a little bit of a hard book if you don't happen to understand it. But I was going to say a lot of that happens to deal with religions of the time, because while God does not change, he does make it more easily understandable for us. But that's a discussion for another time. So you make sure you all have a wonderful night, and God bless.